rush was 11, or rather had 11 complete.
And we're done. Wrapped up a sweet little workout, hotel workout. Easy, effective. Got the job done. Shout out to the Hampton Inn. Some solid pieces of equipment. We got sweet little cable rack. Just about it. You know, most of the things you need. Not all of them, but a good amount of things that you need. Dumbbells up to 50. Little rack. But not bad. Enough to get the job done. So we gotta be happy about that. Gotta be ecstatic about that. So gonna be here for the next 5 days, here for one of my best friend's weddings, and this is gonna be the temple. This is where we're getting it done, baby. But you know, I think it's one of those things that even regardless if you know I had this or just treadmills, you gotta find a way to get it done. You just gotta. If the goals are there, if the goals are seriously a priority, I mean seriously a priority, not just like maybe I'll do it, but like, no, I gotta go do something. You know, you're gonna find a way to get it done. And you're gonna make the best of every situation that you can. Like that's like that true innate ability for you to want to show up for what you want and make shit happen. I mean, it's that simple. You know, I'm not saying you have to be perfect and have the most killer workouts. You know, when you're on the travel, when you're on the go. You know, I know a lot of. I think this is really smart for a lot of my friends that travel a lot. They're members at Anytime Fitnesses and Planet Fitnesses just because they're everywhere. And it's a great way just to prioritize your movement, prioritize yourself, and just know that no matter where you're going, you have an opportunity to get into a gym. Where we're at, this week, there are gyms nearby, but expensive and not necessarily what I'm looking for. So save some money. This hotel has a pretty stellar gym, so we're gonna use it. We're gonna get the best of the situation and get a good sweet pump each day we can. So I just want to kind of throw it out there to you guys, make the best of the situations. But I made a post the other day on my Instagram. If you don't follow me, all good, but I highly recommend checking it out. A lot of daily stuff. I post daily content, daily stories, always on the move, always doing something. So I'm very interactive. I like talking to my people. I love just having these conversations of life, success, moving forward, and not that I'm like this big successful individual yet, right? Speaking to existence. But I have moved myself forward a decent amount in the last 5 years, I'll say. I made a post recently talking about how about 5-ish years ago, like when I really started getting my journey, but more in like college and high school and kind of get into the real adult world after college, I just had a very massive ego. The ego would blind me from a lot of things because it was so much about me, so much about like not needing help, not being able to be vulnerable and knock down walls, but just thinking that I could do everything by myself. I don't need anybody. This is me. This is my world. It's my oyster. I'm doing what the fuck I want. And not to say that you can't have zero ego. I do think that we need to have a little bit of ego, but how to tame the ego. Because when you get into a competitive environment, when you get into a place where you have to perform, like the ego does have to shine a bit, because you got to know your hot shit at some point in your life. You have to truly believe that you are that dude or that chick that's going to accomplish whatever the hell it is. So my ego was just 1,000 times bigger than what it needed to be. And I really had not accomplished anything. I was doing really bad in school, multiple phone calls to my dad saying, this is it, I'm failing out. And, it's nothing to brag about, but it's like the ability to bring down those walls, open up, ask for help, has propelled me in a much farther position than, I really was headed in back then, if that makes sense. I was not heading in the right direction. I was going down a bad path of abuse, and it's always tough talking about, because it's like you look back at all the things that you did to yourself. It might have been fun, it might have been the lifestyle, and thinking about like my abuse with alcohol, dangerous, like very dangerous. And it was partly the typical like college type stuff, but it was going beyond that too. It was getting to a really weird and bad place. And maybe someday, I don't know, I'll talk about a specific night that really changed it for me. But getting past the vices and understand there's much more of life than just that. And you can talk and you can ask for help. It sucks at first, it's scary at first, you're shaking in your boots, you got that little, feeling in your chest that I can't fucking breathe. But eventually, you find a way to get through it. And if you share with enough people, you come to find out that a lot of people actually have this in common too. And I think that's the really cool thing, is that you're never truly alone. There's always somebody going through something very, very similar to you. It's just a matter of one of us speaking up and having the courage to just talk on it first. And not to say that the other person has courage, only you do, but if we can be that person that stands up first and allows them to be another person to stand up second, really cool things can happen from there. So just kind of want to throw that at you guys of, checking our ego out the door, being able to believe in our confidence, being able to believe in ourselves, and understand that, when you complete a hotel workout, even though it wasn't the absolute best, you didn't get the best pump, it was an absolutely just a sweat bomb, doesn't mean it was a failure. It means that you're still moving forward. It means that you did something. You did a lot more than a lot of people would go out and set out to do that day. So, it's the compound wins, it's small wins, it's little things that we don't necessarily, take notice in the moment. But as you gradually start to build and you can reflect back on 30, 60, 90 and think, holy shit, if it wasn't for that first hotel workout that really got my mind right, probably wouldn't be here right now. And there's always magic in the mundane, there's always magic in the minuscule. And when you can just start to understand it, again, those little pieces, they're just as big as the regular bricks. Cool things start to happen. I don't have much caffeine in my system, so the gears are not turning as well in my head today as they normally do. But I hope I'm putting this out there to a place where you guys can pick up on and see what I'm talking about, because I think that's one of the cool things about books too, is like there's so many good books out there, but at the end of the day, they all share the same story. Especially if you're looking into motivational, if you're looking into self-development, they're all sharing this exact same story, just from their perspective. So I think it is hearing it in different languages, right? It takes us a certain amount of those books to find the right language that connects with us to really hit home, like, oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for. It's not that you hadn't heard those messages before, you just had to hear it clearly in your head enough. And that's my goal with speaking up more on these YouTubes, is hopefully I can be that right language for you to speak up, or to hear me speak up and you go take action. So again, throwing that out there to you guys, and a little piece for you guys. I love that this stood out to a lot of you, but just that simple thing of you might feel bad but you're not doing bad. I heard that not too long ago, and that really hit home for me too. And I'm glad it hit home for a lot of you as well. And I really want you to keep that in your back pocket everywhere you go, whether it's for work, life, gym, content creation, don't matter. If you might feel bad, it don't mean you're doing bad. We're really hard on ourselves. We're our biggest critics. We want to put ourselves down more than anybody else in this world. The reality is we're doing a lot better for showing up. The person that is only showing up 3 days out of the week, is doing a lot less work than the person showing up 7. But still, that person showing up 3 days is doing a lot more than the person that's only showing up 1 day. So again, perspective, and you need to bring that good perspective to yourself, so you can believe more in yourself. The belief is powerful. The belief is truly, truly a superpower, and I think is slowly diminishing in our world as a whole. Currently, we're living in weird times, really funky moments. It's up to us as individuals to want to step up for ourselves. No one ain't coming to save us. No one else is going to put in that work for us. No one else is going to do anything for us. So if we're showing up and we're putting in the work and we're putting that belief, the confidence, that slight ego, it all comes together. It's that perfect formula. It's like Powerpuff Girls, right? Sugar, spice, and everything nice, baby. We get rocking and rolling. We start crushing it. So just wanted to hit you with a little something. While I'm traveling, little things that come to mind while, you kind of have no headphones. It's one thing I forgot was headphones. So traveling with no headphones, there's always those TikToks of Rog Dog in a flight, no headphones, just staring straight ahead. And those I always get a kick out of those. Thankfully, I just knocked out the whole entire flight. So that was good. But again, just wanted to share a quick little snippet for you guys. Hope this helps. If you have questions, if you ever want to chat, follow me on Instagram. We'd love to see a DM from you. But keep working hard, believe in yourself, let down those walls, stay juicy. I love y'all.